listening to the WRAL Daily Download. I'm Elizabeth Holmes. Durham has a new top cop. Stephanie Mardis will be the city's new police chief on September 8th. She's focused on reducing violence, improving staffing, and building trust with the community. WRAL's Monica Casey spoke with Mardis one-on-one. Here's the full interview.
The first thing that I wanted to ask you, you're coming from Greensboro to Durham. What made you want to come to Durham? What made this a good fit for you?
I think it was just all in timing. I just look over my 24-and-a-half-year career, and I think everything that I've learned and how I've developed, and I've had mentors and community members who have just poured into me and just guided me through my whole adult life. And I think this is just a culmination of that. When the Durham position opened, I did not hesitate. I knew that Durham would be a phenomenal place to live and to work. The agency here is full of phenomenal men and women, and it's very progressive, and the community is very engaged and active. And it just was a no-brainer for me to actually go out on faith, step out on faith, and put my name in the hat to be the Chief of Police for the Durham Police Department. And by the grace of God, here I am, living my dream. I am extremely excited and grateful for this opportunity, and I'm ready to get to work.
And I wanted to ask you, I know we have lots of biographies about you and information about you, but in your own words, what have been some of the highlights of your career, and what's kept you in law enforcement?
The connections with my colleagues in the Greensboro Police Department, and the connection with the community members. Greensboro is a very special place to me, and it will always have a special place in my heart. And it's where I've lived my adult life. I raised my family there, and I learned how to be the police officer there. So I have great memories of Greensboro, and I know that all of my experiences have prepared me for this moment.
And Greensboro has seen some success recently. I was reading there's been over a 20% drop in violent crime when you look at 2025 numbers.
Yes.
Are there any practices that you're hoping to bring here to Durham that might be able to be replicated to see that same kind of success?
Well, I've been doing my research on the Durham Police Department, and this agency is very progressive in technology and how we address violent crime and gun crime. We have the NIBIN system here. We have very talented detectives, and I think a lot of the qualities that we have, success stories that we have in Greensboro of the best practices, I know this agency has adopted those practices as well, so I'm excited to join the team and contribute in any way I can.
And the city and county just put together and participated in this big violence reduction summit. And the recommendations will go to the city and county leaders a little later this month. And I know you're just arriving.
Yes.
But from that list of recommendations, is there anything that stands out to you that you believe would be particularly effective in Durham?
All five pillars. We are in lockstep. Law enforcement, that responsibility is just one part of a collaborative effort, and from top to bottom, from the first priority to the fifth, everything about the initiative is just collaborative. I think it allows us to come out of our silos and pull together our resources in a more effective and impactful way to address violent crime. And it's not just enforcement only. It's getting the subject matter experts who are well-versed in trauma-informed care with our community connectors and community outreach. I think that this summit was so successful in just spelling out tangible pillars or objectives that are, one, reasonable, attainable, and I think that we are well on our way of reaching that goal of decreasing crime by 10% with just the collaboration that's unfolding here. It's amazing work that has already been done, and so I'm not coming with the magic solution. I'm joining a team that's already on its way to realizing that we have to pull our resources together to improve the lives of the residents in Durham, and I'm excited for the opportunity to be able to join the team.
And you talk about collaboration.
Yes.
WRAL has covered some tension between the Durham Police Department and the way the District Attorney's Office has handled certain cases. How important is that collaboration at that level to you, and do you have any steps you want to take to work with that office moving forward?
There's plenty of opportunity to lean in and just create dialogue and opportunity. I don't think that there isn't a challenge that we face that can't be addressed by just establishing those lines of communication and having being aligned in our purposes and moving forward. So I look forward to the opportunity of meeting Madam DA and her team and discussing how we move forward.
And one of the recommendations from the Violence Reduction Summit specifically focused on youth crime and the need for what people believe should be a youth violence reduction summit, a whole separate thing for that. We have covered the issue of youth crime in Durham. Is there anything that you're bringing from Greensboro that you believe would be successful here on that particular issue, or anything currently in the works here that you think we can bolster some more?
I think the initiatives have mirrored each other in Greensboro and Durham. One important factor I think that we would be remiss if we don't take advantage of is just getting input from the youth. They are the best resource to kind of tackle that problem with youth violence and teen takeovers and a lot of buzzwords that we've been hearing across the nation. I think it's just imperative that we identify those credible voices in the youth that can come to the table and we can collaborate with coming up with a solution to address teen violence.
Would you like to see a separate youth violence summit once you're here?
Absolutely. I would welcome the opportunity to be a part of that.
I wanted to ask you, we have covered staffing shortages at the Durham Police Department. It's a statewide and a nationwide issue, we know, and there have been some recent strides in the right direction. What are you hoping to do in terms of recruitment and retention to keep things trending in the right direction here? Really
just analyze what we're doing that's working and find our blind spots or our barriers that are preventing us from attaining the actual goal of filling the seats in the academy. And that may be streamlining the process. We really, this agency has a lot to offer. It's a premier agency for the nation, and just highlighting the benefits of joining our organization. I think that we're doing a great job, but there are always ways that we can improve. And so I'm excited about starting my tenure on the 8th of September and really looking at those systems that we have in place to see if there are any barriers or blind spots that we can improve on.
When you look ahead at your first year here in Durham and hopefully many years to come, what are your top goals and priorities for year one in office?
Violence reduction, being really responsive to the concerns of the community and meeting those expectations, and not just reducing crime, but being thoughtful about it, and where we're building trust and we're building those bridges and bolstering those connections. I think that is the number one goal of mine, is to meet the expectations of the community, but just as important, I want to make sure that the working environment within the walls of the police department are healthy. It's an environment conducive to officers learning and growing and thriving professionally and personally. And so officer wellness and all the things that come along with that. I really want this agency and our men and women to enjoy coming to work, to feel supported, and to feel like they have all the tools and the equipment they need to do their jobs effectively and safely.
Definitely. Let me check my list of questions here real quick. I think we've gotten most of them. The one thing other thing that I wanted to ask you, Durham has been really innovative in pioneering unarmed first responders, the HEART team, and the whole community safety department. Is that something that you were aware of before coming here to Durham, and do you have any hopes to continue to partner with that department?
Absolutely. That is best practice. Any credible law enforcement agency really needs to consider and embrace that philosophical approach of co-response model, because far too long law enforcement officers have been the go-to for a lot of non-criminal related issues that our residents face with either the unsheltered population or mental health crisis or things like socioeconomic drivers of what impact the quality of life. And so the co-response model, crisis intervention training, all of the things, they're just a very thoughtful and intentional way of responding to specific needs of our residents. And I am 100% supportive of that, those initiatives and that philosophical approach to meeting the needs.
For someone watching this at home,
Yes.
I know we've talked for a few minutes here.
Yes.
The story will, of course, be shorter than what we have talked about.
Yes.
But what is the main message you would like the community to hear from you as you arrive here in Durham?
I care about people, and it's important for me to show up for the men and women of this agency, and it's important for me to show up for the community, and it's important for me to show up for myself. And if we can just take that approach, it builds trust, it builds shared accountability, it builds transparency, and I'm committed to leading this agency with integrity, professionalism, and thoughtfulness, and I'm ready to get to work. You will see me. I will be accessible. I will be in the community, and I will listen to your thoughts and your concerns.
The last thing that I have to ask you about, we reported on this yesterday, but an assistant police chief, Raul Garcia, was cited for a hit and run in Wake County.
Yes.
As you come into this office, what is your message to your officers about that situation and anything that you can say to the community about that right now?
Yeah, I've been briefed very quickly on that situation. I have full confidence in the leadership here that's dealing with that, and once I come on board, we'll have a hard look at of that situation and anything else. But what I'll say is that accountability matters, and I hold myself accountable. In this agency, we will hold our staff accountable, and we'll also hold the community accountable. And so accountability is a shared experience, but I have expectations of professionalism and integrity within this agency, and I won't waver from that.
Is there anything else that you would like to say that I haven't asked you?
Yes. For the community of Durham, I am just blessed to be able to step into this new role. Durham is full of rich history and vibrant people and vibrant community that's very engaged, and it excites me to know that this community cares. It cares enough to show up. It cares enough to voice their opinions, and it's an honor to be a part of this city. And I look forward to making Durham my forever home.
Thanks for listening to the WRAL Daily Download. Remember, you can find this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. That includes Spotify and Apple Music. Follow the show so you don't miss an episode.